record on? No. So, right. So, Abram, you want to start this with the three mantra, my friend? Yes, you're muted. Okay, good.
Namo Vidgaya, Namo Arihanta, Namo Sitarana, Namo Ayariyaram, Namo Fasayaram, Namo Loye Safa Savaram, Eso Panchanamukaru, Savapava Panasano, Mangalara Shasafisim, Padma Avai Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchidanand, Namo Vitragaya, Namo Arihantaram, Namo Sitaranam, Namo Ayariyaram, Namo Fasayaram, Namo Loye Sava Savaram, Eso Panchanamukaru, Savapava Panasano, Mangalara Chasavisim, Padma Avai Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchidanand, Namo Vitragaya, Namo Arihantaram, Namo Sitaranam, Namo Ayariyaram, Namo Fasayaram, Namo Loye Safa Savaram, Eso Panchanamukaru, Savapava Panasano, Mangalara Shasavisim, Padma Avai Mangalam, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand, Jai Satchidanand.
Really wonderful. Thank you.
Muito bom, obrigado.
And with that, we begin our satsang, you see.
Nós começamos nosso satsang agora, então.
And in the last session, we had covered the following. So let me just give you that before I give you this link. But anyway, let me see here. I need to, just minimize this a little bit so that I can access.
I think that
yes, what we covered. Yes,
the last question was the question in what arises internally. That was the last question.
Yes. Thank you.
Última questão. Na última satsang foi o que surge internamente.
You see, it's a very detailed questionnaire, question answer session with our dearest Dadashri.
Uma profunda sessão de perguntas e respostas com
about about this awakening, the awakened self, awakening from the self. What is the activity of the awakened self? The activity of the awakened self and is through the light of the awakened self, the light of the awakened self, and that is called Jagruti, right? The awakened awareness, you see.
Então, qual é a atividade do ser desperto? É através da luz, né? E é através da luz e é através do Jagruti, né?
Jagruti, you see. And there's a whole series of satsang that happened, many sentences, and now on page 27 in Gujarati, we are somewhere in there about, remind me of the last question, Tony, so then I can proceed.
A última, Shuddha falou, achei que há várias séries que, nesses satsangs que temos lido, temos abordado, e a última questão no finzinho do satsang, na última terça-feira, foi o interlocutor pergunta what arises internally, né? O que surge internamente
Yes.
With the consciousness of the pure soul, you separate, né?
Yes.
Then you made the analogy of the river, né? The water in the river. Então, a tradução é, né, com a consciência da alma pura, você separa. Né?
Yeah. You see, so anytime a Kashai speaks, the Kashai of pride speaks and says, "Oh, why is he telling me this? What have I done to deserve this?" It is the Kashai of pride, man speaking. It is not the Amapura speaking, and it is not the body speaking. It is the Kashai, one of these four Kashais, the Kashai of pride is now speaking, you see? And that
E o Kashai do orgulho está falando agora, né? Como, por exemplo, porque ele fala desse modo comigo, né? É o Kashai do orgulho que fala desse modo.
And Dadashri says, Dadashri says that just as the Kashai arises, at the same time, the awareness of the self is also there. Soyamapura, Ayosamapura, and that is enough to separate. Separation happens, you see. The moment the Kashai arises, speaks, at the same time the awakened awareness also arises, and therefore it immediately separates, Yes.
So, o Shuddha diz que, ao mesmo tempo que o Kashai, o Kashai surge, aparece, a consciência do ser também está presente ao mesmo tempo. Então, essa consciência de que a consciência do ser, né, que eu sou a alma pura.
And so,
e aí, o que acontece entre o Kashai e a alma pura juntos, quando essa consciência surge, a separação ocorre.
And so then the question is wondering what happens to these Kashais, because the Kashai also, when it says, what have I done? Why is she telling me these things? Okay. And what about that reaction? Will that reaction automatically dissolve? And the Dadashri then replies that to dissolve means, to dissolve means separation. Separation is the most critical thing, because then, since you're not here now, inside the Kashai, you're separated, and therefore this Kashai will die. If it is active, it will die. It will give its effect to file one, but it won't affect you. It won't affect you.
Então, o que o interlocutor pergunta, né? O que ocorre com cachais? E o Dada diz, né? Essa reação se dissolve, né? E ao se dissolver essa reação de cachais, a separação ocorre. E o cachai realmente, ele, como se o cachai tivesse ido embora, né? Tivesse morrido, o Shuddha fala.
Yeah, directly related to Jagruti, you see. Jagruti,
Diretamente
the light of the self, you
relacionado
see.
à luz do ser, diretamente relacionado à luz, ao Jagruti, que é a luz do ser.
Yeah, and elsewhere it is identified as Pragnya. In this satsang, so far, Dadashri is not talking about Pragnya, you know.
Em outro lugar é identificado como Pragnya, né? Mas nesse satsang, o Dada refere a isto como a Jagruti.
Yeah, liberating energy of the self, you see.
A energia libertadora do ser.
You see, the Kashai has energy. What the hell? Why are you saying this to me?
Yeah.
That is Kashai.
Yeah.
That same energy, the same energy within Michele, Amelia has gone into the body, you see, into the relative world, and the same energy can help you separate, and the separation means the Kashai has got nothing to do with you anymore. You see, the Kashai reaction does not touch you. That's the critical thing, you see.
E o Shuddha estava demonstrando, né, a demonstração desse Kashai de reativo, né? O que você está falando comigo? O que você está falando comigo? Dessa maneira. E a mesma, nesse mesmo contexto, né, do relativo, surge essa energia, né, a energia do Jagruti, né, que é iluminada, que faz com que você se separa do Kashai e o Kashai morre, vai embora.
Yeah, this, this now, so then, so now this man is a little worried about, the questioner is a little worried about, well, those Kashai reactions that were happened in me meaning, the one with the name, in file 1, will it reach the other person? And the other says it may reach the other person and it may not reach the other person, you see.
Então,
or it may just die. It may die because remember, this thing is so all happening inside this man only. This man is complaining, what have I done? Why is he saying this to me, right? So it is so far, there is nobody else is involved, you know.
Então, nessa situação, não tem, o Shuddha diz que não tem ninguém envolvido, o interlocutor está preocupado, como ele estivesse um diálogo com ele próprio, né? E preocupado com o que acontece com esse Kashai. O Kashai esse Kashai vai atingir outra pessoa.
So then, initially, Dada says those Kashai reactions may reach the other person and may not reach the other person, but this other person, we got nothing to do with the other person, right? I mean, so then again the questioner is asking, well, if he remains in awareness of the self, so I am apura, I am pure soul, then the reaction of these kashais, the vibrations of these kashais, the negative vibrations of these kashais will not reach the other person, correct? Dadashri says no. If the answer is the other person has got nothing to do with it, so it doesn't matter. You see?
I will translate that, Shuddha.
Thank you.
Então, essa reação do Kashai pode ou não atingir o outro. Mas o interlocutor, como ele sentiu essa reação dentro dele, né, no relativo, ele fica preocupado. Então, se você está na alma pura, essa vibração negativa dos cachás não vai atingir o outro. Basicamente é isso. O problema do interlocutor, certo? A pessoa, não há ninguém em volta dele, mas ele tem essa percepção que ele sente essa energia desse cachás, né? Negativo. Né?
Okay, so then the questioner is asking, so therefore, this man, so the responsibility, because every kashai, anger, pride, deceit, greed, carries with it a potential responsibility, a liability that number of most important liabilities, it can hurt the other human being. Now, that means now you've created, there is a file that has been created, right? or you're not, it won't let you go. If it reaches the other person, if the other person is hurt, then there is a problem, right?
Yeah. Então, cada cachai, raiva, orgulho, engano, ganância, carrega um grau de responsabilidade, né? E essa carga de responsabilidade pode machucar o outro, né? Então, há um arquivo criado. Então, o Shuddha diz, há um arquivo criado.
So the other, it says, so the responsibility is over, of potey. Potey means, the word potey, I have just given you the definition of potey. Potey, potey is a very interesting word in all of us, you see.
Uma palavra interessante em todos nós, potey, P-O-T-E.
It's the progressing I, you see, after Gnanvidhi.
É o em progressão depois do Gnanvidhi.
After the Gnanvidhi, the potey is the one inside who, before the Gnanvidhi was used to say, eu sou Antonio Andrade. After the Gnanvidhi says, eu sou Amapura, you see, so that is the same one. And so now that I am Amapura is now progressing, is going higher, you see. Progression of I, you see.
Então, antes do Gnanvidhi, você pode dizer o seu nome, né? Eu sou Antônio, ou eu sou Michel. Depois do Gnan, você diz, eu sou Amapura. E agora, este I que está em progressão é que o Shuddha se refere ao potey.
Yeah, and before the Gnanvidhi, there is also the I. I am Tony, I am Hoberom. That
O Roberão, antes do Gnan, eu sou...
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Existia, yes.
Yeah, it's I is always there, but that I has to now goes through life, developing and learning. You see, life is a learning process. So that I develops slowly. He develops until his development has reached at such a level that he is now seeking the answer, who am I? You see, then you see, so there is that development. In fact, the development is essentially leading up to the final question: who am I now? Who am I on this? All of these things, all of these things is going on. Who am I? You see, so that is also a development, isn't it? And that development is life after life after life of every human being. You see.
Certo, yes. So, então ele diz, antes do Gnan, o eu estava lá, certo? Mas depois do Gnan, você não, Antônio, Michel, nós temos a noção de que somos alma pura, certo? E há desenvolvimento, né, até um nível de que você começa a dialogar, né? Quem sou eu nesse mundo, né? Essa é parte, essas perguntas são parte dessa progressão. The development is part of the progression, right?
Yeah, it's the progression. After the Gnanvidhi, the eu so amapura
Yeah.
now is now is no longer the development. The development is over. You see, you have already hit the main central station, and now you're progressing higher into the space of the self, higher into the space. We have this physical space where people, and they shoot, space ships, but now we have disconnected from the earth, and we are going higher and higher and higher. You see, so after the Gnanvidhi is a progression. Before the Gnanvidhi is a development, and the development is circumstantial. You see, it depends on whether you meet the Gnani Purush, depends on whether your conditions are right before you meet the Gnani Purush, you see, and so many factors, circumstances, and are a part of make you learn, develop, Whereas after the Gnanvidhi, everybody is on the same level field. Now it's a progression. Now it's a natural rising. Yes, a natural rise.
O Shuddha fez a distinção antes do Gnan, que havia um desenvolvimento, e depois do Gnanvidhi o desenvolvimento, você não chama mais de desenvolvimento, você chama que é uma progressão, né? Essa progressão natural surge, né?
Yeah, in the field, in the space of the self, you see, where no evidence is necessary for your for your progression. You're done. Now no evidence is necessary. You can be sitting in your home and you're progressing. You see, you can be doing your shopping and you're progressing. You are taking a walk and you're progressing. You see, you see a human being with this vision, dual vision. Body, Amapura, body, Amapura, body, Amapura.
E o Shuddha diz que no espaço do ser não há evidências necessárias para o seu progresso. Você pode progredir, fazer esse progresso em sua casa, né? E esses dois, o corpo alma pura, né? O corpo alma pura, né? Que it's related to Agnas 1 and 2, Shuddha.
It's in fact the Agnas actually protect that progression, but your progression is exactly happening. Your Agnas, Agnas ensure that your progress is maintained. Imagine like an Akram lift, you see, an Akram lift. And in the old days, old elevators had these crisscross doors, the steel frames come together and there are these kind of spaces in between the steel frames, you see.
O elevador que ele está falando, o elevador do Akram que ele está referindo, Shuddha.
Yeah.
The Agnes, you're saying the Agnes...
Place you in the lift.
Yeah, the Agnes, eu perguntei se essa diferença que ele falou do corpo da Amapura, se primeira e segunda Agnes, cujo Shuddha fez uma observação dizendo que as agnas mantêm o seu progresso. Eles te mantêm constantemente nesse elevador do Akram.
Yeah, and the agnas, take this example of the lift or the elevator. You see now, remember the old elevators where
Ele está falando daquele elevador velho, né? Que tem as portas são.
You could see through. Every time you came to a floor, you can see outside, and then then you see the wall, and then you see the floor, the next floor, etc. But
você vê os andares.
Yeah, and now they close it up so you don't see anything outside,
Agora as portas são totalmente hermeticamente fechadas.
But the point is, and that once you come inside, once you become the Amapura, then you're seeing your lift is going up only. The progression from one floor to the other floor to the other floor is happening, you see. And in contrast to the old elevators, Dadashri says, in the old elevators, there was space. You could put your finger out or you put your hand in outside a little bit. But, you can get hurt. But if you put something very strong, the lift will stop, would it not?
Yeah, ele está falando, né, da diferença, ele está fazendo uma analogia, né, que quando você é uma pura, né, a progressão de um andar para o outro, como que ela ocorre, né, e ele também comentou, né, mesmo como os elevadores antigos eram construídos, né, você poderia até colocar sua mão entre esses espaços de ferro, dessas barras de ferro, né, e você poderia até colocar um objeto e parar o elevador, né, e foi a analogia que ele fez.
Yeah, it's once you enter the agnas keep you from sticking your hand out of the elevator.
E aí a complementação da comparação entre o elevador antigo e o elevador novo, né? Quando você está dentro das agnas, as agnas prevêem e protegem você de você colocar a mão fora, por exemplo. Né?
And so this man who is questioning the other is more worried about what would happen to the other person because of the kashai that arose in him as in the discharge, you see.
Então esse interlocutor estava preocupado com Dada, se esses cachais que surgiram internamente dentro dele, se esses cachais poderiam magoar os outros.
So when he talked about responsibility, he brings in a new word. Do I escape all? Am I free from my responsibility? And so then Dadashri says, no, not that way. All of this is so far one-sided only, is it not? It's from you only. It does not involve the other human being, the kasha is inside you, and it came out, and you said, what have I done wrong? Why is he doing this to me? In other words, it's still in you, right? So.
I will translate this part, Shuddha, and then. Sim, então esse homem ainda preocupado diz a Dada, eu estou pergunta a Dada, eu estou livre das minhas responsabilidades, desses cachais internos. Aí o Dada, eu estou magoando os outros, aí o Dada diz, não, você é responsável pelas cachais porque esses cachais estão internamente dentro de você.
Yeah, and so now Dadashri gives a long explanation, which is important. And there's a lot of subtle stuff in it. I will go to it at step by step. Okay, this is on bottom of page 27, Gujarati. Okay,
Que é uma página, é no finalzinho da página 27 em Gujarati, o Dada dá explicações em frases.
Okay, now what Dada says is, the other person has got nothing to give or take in here. You see?
E a outra pessoa não ganha nem perde nada aqui.
The other person is not concerned. Okay.
A outra pessoa não tem nenhum vínculo a você.
You see, Dadashri says, if somebody paints a picture or somebody paints something negative about me inside him, all right, to paint something, you in our minds inside, we either paint something positive about a person or something negative. It doesn't come out, but you're painting something. You're saying.
E o Shuddha está dizendo, né? E na nossa mente a gente pinta coisas positivas e negativas sobre outras pessoas.
And the other person is not concerned. The other, she says, if someone paints something negative about me, how can that reach me? So say somebody is having who's this guy here with the black cap and trying to call himself God, right? If somebody is painting negative about me, how does that reach me? What have I got to do with it?
O Dada está dizendo que se alguém tem um pensamento negativo comigo, o que eu tenho a ver com isso? Por exemplo, esse homem com esse chapeuzinho preto e que se chama Deus, que esse comentário dessa pessoa não me toca. Não tem nada a ver comigo.
You say, how can it, I don't have anything to do with it, right? No matter how much you paint inside yourself about me, I don't have anything to do with it, and this is an important point to understand, okay? Because, human beings have...
Isso é um ponto importante de entender. Por exemplo, o Dada diz, né? Eles podem pintar em negativo o que eles quiserem. Eu não tenho nada a ver com isso. Como isso não me afeta. It's like that word that you use, nirlep.
Yeah, right. But you see, Dada is trying to come down. Nirlep is the final thing, you see?
Final thing.
Nirlep, this satsang is applicable to people who are not even awakened, if they understand the exact science behind what is happening.
Ok, Shuddha. Eu fiz essa pergunta, Nirlep é um estado mais elevado, mas ele disse que esse satsang pode se aplicar a pessoas people in a level, what did you say? Should the satsang applies to?
This even people who don't have Gnanvedi, this particular part.
Pessoas que, essa parte que Shuddha está dizendo, lendo, pode se aplicar às pessoas que não receberam Gnanvedi.
You see, that is take with it. You see, this give-take, there is a word called vyavahar, like we are all familiar with. Vyavahar means the world of give and take.
É a palavra de dar e tomar.
Give, take, that is called vyavahar, you see. Where human beings are constantly giving something of themselves to the other person and, taking something from the other person for myself, you see, give, take. This is called vyavahar. Give, take, take, give, you see. Give, take, give, take.
Ele tá falando que esse mundo de dar e tomar é um mundo de vyavahar, se chama vyavahar. Tomar e doar. Dá e tira, dá e tira.
But Dada says, I have no give and take because I have no give and take with what that person is painting inside him or her about me. I'm not...
E o Dada diz, eu não tenho nada a ver com isso, porque essas pessoas estão na cabeça dele com os pensamentos bons ou não, sobre eu não tenho nada a ver com isso. Porque ele não tem essa vyavahar dentro dele. Eu não tenho esse dá e toma. Isso não existe, não está presente na consciência de Dada.
if a beautiful lady is going in front of you walking, what is your give and take with her? You might paint all kinds of things inside about her, her looks and her figure and whatever you're interested in. But how is she concerned with it? You see, how does it affect her? She's walking amidst, 100 men, how is she concerned with it? What is her? Yeah.
Então, Shuddha disse as circunstâncias de se uma mulher bonita passa na rua e não passa na sua frente, e você aplica essa consciência, né, desses pensamentos bons e não bons. Então, 100 homens passam por essa pessoa e têm os pensamentos deles. Então, como isto pode afetar esta mulher?
You see, now I'm giving the exact translations here. So just pardon me while I type it.
O Shuddha está lendo em Gujarati, está traduzindo e colocando no chat. This is Dada's response, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. These are all Dada's words.
Yeah. Ele está lendo as palavras do Dada agora.
So, what is there in it? Say the other. It's a reverse example. It's a man. He's a young man walking. He is, he's attractive. He is handsome, and he's walking. And some, the girls around. Some young lady looks at him and says, "Oh, it would be nice if this man became my husband." You see.
Yeah.
And so what's there in it? What have we got to do? Now Dada involves the young man around him. Dada involves and says, what have we got to do with her painting inside? She has not come and done anything. She's just looking at you,
Então, a situação que Dada descreve é um homem bonito que passa e essa pessoa, essa mulher olha para ele e vê os pensamentos surgem, né? Seria interessante se esse homem fosse meu marido, né? Pudesse casar, meu parceiro. Então, Dada diz o que esse homem tem a ver com os pensamentos dessa mulher.
So Dadashri says, we have not. Dadashri includes this young man who is sitting with him in satsang. And
Ele incluiu esse homem que está sentado com ele.
Probably
em satsang.
Probably a young man without any, without much familiarity with women,
Provavelmente homem sem nenhuma familiaridade com mulher.
And so, he says, she can paint all she wants to about you, but you have not painted this, that, this woman, this attractive woman would be nice if she becomes my wife. You have not painted that, you see. So you have not, so therefore you, as you're walking, your vision, not these eyes, your inner eyes are not at her beauty, you see, at all.
Yes.
Let me give you that.
Basicamente, o Dada diz, né, que esse olhos, ele se refere aos olhos desse homem, mas não os olhos externos do sentido, mas seus olhos internos não tem nada a ver com o pensamento dessa mulher.
See, he says, you have not painted that, you know, it'd be nice if she were to become my wife, you see.
Ele não construiu essa pintura, esse quadro, né, de que poderia haver como ela sentiu isso por ele, que ele iria sentir atraído por ela e se tornar o parceiro dela, né? Isso não acontece.
You see, he says both this painting, that when Dada is talking about this painting, like, you know, you paint something nice. In this
O Dada está falando sobre esse desenho, né? It's like a signature in terms of painting. Né?
No, it's actual painting.
Yeah.
Signature means this is happening to me. And painting means all kinds of stuff going on in you. In the past life, when you see a woman, you say, you know, oh man, I'd like to do this to her, and I'd like to have somebody like this, you see, and this sort of stuff.
Good. Okay. O Shuddha fez uma correção, porque eu pensei que pintar, fosse a mesma coisa do que termo muito usado, você assinar alguma coisa, uma signature. Não, a signature é você assinar alguma coisa, você sentir que está acontecendo com você. Esse painting, esse desenho mesmo que está se originando no pensamento da pessoa. And this, just to make sure that I understood, that this painting is created in the past life.
Exactly.
Essa pintura foi criada na vida passada, esse desenho na vida passada, e agora está dando fruto agora dessa vida quando ele vê uma mulher que chama a atenção dele.
You see, and so he says, look, you're a young man, you're a handsome man, you're sitting next to me, but, you know, this woman over there, she's saying, oh boy, it would be nice to have him as my husband, right?
Yeah.
So she is painting that, but you have no such feelings for her. You have no such inclinations. You don't have, you're not painting anything when you look at her, you know, because you're not painting anything, you're not having any such feelings for her, sexual, or, you know, or because to have a wife means it is a sexual vision, you know, I mean, because if you don't have sex, then you can always have somebody cook the food for you, you know, you can, you know, employ a maid or something like that. So in essence, you do not have the sexual vision because you have not painted that in your last life.
Então, em essência, o Dada diz para esse homem, esse jovem, simpático, bonito, e ela, a moça, fez esse desenho dele, e o Dada diz, você não tem esse desejo, esse desenho seu, então nada, não vai afetar porque não está dentro do seu pensamento, né? Então, isso, e outra coisa um comentário que o Shuddha fez, né, em geral, quando há essa intenção do homem ou da mulher casar com alguém, significa que a interação é também no nível sexual, né? Então, e foi criada na vida passada. Porque para você ter uma mulher em sua casa para fazer as refeições para você, e você não necessita uma esposa, por isso que uma esposa já é mais, certo? O relacionamento já é de um nível mais profundo, né? E o Shuddha desse envolve a parte sexual também.
Yeah, this world, you know, is such that every minute during the daytime and every minute during the night, it is painting something inside. You see, a human being is painting something inside, and that is called bhav karma. It is called charge karma. I am a man and I want someone, you know, I want someone better than what I've got. I just, you know, you just on and on and on and on, you know, this painting lands him in more of the same in the next life, you see. If he has painted for money and, you know, grabbing money, then he will continue to grab money that doesn't belong to him, you see.
Ok, então o Shuddha diz que essa é a mente do ser humano que a cada momento está fazendo algum desenho, né? E esse desenho é chamado do Baal Karma, né? Que é karma de karma, né? Que você, nesta vida, você tendo esses desenhos todos, você está vinculando esses karmas que vão dar frutos na próxima vida.
Yeah, so Dadashri is saying, listen, you know, when he started talking, everything is one-sided, isn't it? Really? You know, when everything that happens to you and stays inside you is one-sided until you get a response from the other side, you see. So whether in both rag, in this attachment and this so-called love, you know, the matching subatomic particles come together and they say, man, I'm in love with her. I love her. Or, oh, I love him. You see, and then the secondary repulsion comes later, you see. The repulsion comes later. And all of these are accounts. These are all of these accounts of painting. I want this, I want it like this, I want it like that, I want that, I want it, you know, and just there is no end to it. This is painting happens in ignorance, you see.
Esse desenho acontece em ignorância, certo? E Shuddha, there's one thing, what did you say in the beginning that you said that, you know, the human is always, it's natural.
Every human is continuously painting, you know, day and night, day and night. In sleep they're painting, in sleep they're painting, while eating they're painting, while they're driving they're painting, they're all continuously painting because the painting happens because you say, I am Eo so Berna Amelia, I am this body and I want this, I like this, I hate this, you see, and the painting continues, you see.
Yes, but you did say that I missed the second part, that everything that happens to you, it stays inside, right?
It stays inside, but you know, what is inside will come out, you see.
Okay. No. That's the part I missed. That's the part I missed.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I didn't tell that. I didn't translate that. If in the beginning should have said that everything that happens with you fica dentro de você, but vai ter que sair. Então, and this is what you.
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is,
then in the beginning, the wedding, the marriage, the relationship is all nice, and then comes the aversion, right? The
aversion, because what you're seeking is not in the body of that woman or the man. It, you know, it's not in the body.
Eu Shuddha diz o que você está procurando não está no corpo dessa mulher e não está no corpo desse homem tampouco. E você está in the ignorant state, thinking that
it's a projection. It is a pure projection under illusion, you know, like two best friends, two best guys, okay? They know, they share all the secrets, all right? They talk to them like, you know, they're buddies. Childhood friends, they've grown up now, they're young men. And, you know, one of them just totally falls for a woman, you know, just he, you know, now he can't sleep, he can't, you know, every time. And so then this friend of his will says, listen, I don't understand what's happened to you. I mean, what's there in her? You know, you're so attracted to her. What's going on with you?
Yeah. Shuddha está dando o exemplo de dois amigos, esses amigos assim, de confidência, né? De tudo, eles conversam, tudo que acontece. Aí um deles se apaixona por uma pessoa, por uma mulher, e fica totalmente perdido. E aí o outro faz o comentário, eu não posso entender o que você está acontecendo com você, o que você viu para você se dar desta maneira, deste modo.
Yeah, it is what is from our vision, the awakened vision, the vision of the awakened one. This is the result of subatomic particles activating towards this so-called love, you see. These subatomic particles account from previous life of both of them. This one and this one, both of them, all right?
Essa união não é nada mais do que o resultado de partículas subatômicas de ambos os lados, dele e dela. E que isso foi criado em vida passada e está dando fruição agora nesta vida.
So in that last sentence that the other has said is, the other she says, over there, therefore, the one with the vision is caught. He's the guilty one. The one with the vision is caught and he's the guilty one. In other words, over there means in the next life. Right now, all of that vision, this guy doesn't understand. He says, well, he just thinks it's happening to me. But you say his vision is painting, is being created. And so the one with the vision gets trapped. The one with the vision that went away from his own self into this woman, into this thing, in whatever, a living thing, or into this man, gets caught, you see. But it's a very beautiful example that is giving. He was talking to this young man who has never had a sexual experience, and Dada is in satsang with him, and he says, "You're not interested, your lack of interest in her is the exact result of the fact that you have not painted this in your past life." That's all, you see.
Então,
He's probably talking to the Deepak Bhai, Dada is talking.
Então, o Dada diz na última frase que aquele com aquela visão que desenha, ele vai ser pego. Ele vai ser pego e é culpado, e isso vai acontecer na próxima vida. E este rapaz que estava ao lado do Dada, que houve essa questão, por que ele não sente nada, não tem desenho por esta mulher que está observando e tendo esta atração por ele, e provavelmente Deepak Bhai, o Shuddha diz, e esse rapaz, e Dada diz, né, que você não tem esse desenho de sexualidade, porque é nato dele, que ele não tinha, então a outra pessoa poderia ter feito qualquer desenho sobre ele que não ia tocá-lo, porque isso não existe. It also has to do with subatomic particles, right?
Yeah, this is everything. You speaking right now, all of us being here, is really all subatomic particles interacting, but we cannot see subatomic particles. We see bodies, we see sound, we see here. Everything is subatomic particles, except for Amapura. It is just coming together of subatomic particles and dissipation of subatomic particles. You see? Subatomic particles of attachment and abhorrence.
Aversion. Repulse. Eu perguntei se isso, a pessoa não tem nada, nenhuma sexualidade, nada, essa atração tudo é subatomic particles. E o Shuddha falou que toda essa energia é devido à comunicação aqui, na visão da nossa, audição nossa. É tudo baseado em subatomic particles, com exceção da alma pura. What was your phrase? What for Amapura?
The Amapura is simply everything except the Amapura is subatomic particles. right? Everything is except for the Amapura is subatomic. Except
Tudo é partícula subatômica, exceto para a alma pura.
Amapura has no subatomic. No
Amapura
subatomic particles. It's
não
pure.
É puro, é uma pureza.
And so subatomic particles charging and discharging. Is charging
A
and
partícula
discharging.
subatômica sempre carregando, descarregando, carregando, descarregando.
And of course, and they have 4 major categories, anger, pride, deceit, greed,
Então, essas quatro categorias são, né, da raiva, orgulho, manipulação, ganância.
So the same twins, like the twin girls, one, they look identical, young ladies, they become, their lives may be totally opposite afterwards,
Então, ele está dando exemplo de gêmeas, né? Duas gêmeas, né? Quando elas progridem, eles têm o destino, né, totalmente, às vezes, oposto ou diferente. Né?
Yeah. Because both have filled different stock, different stuff, and they both have painted differently.
In previous life.
In previous life, yes.
Shuddha disse, é por isso que elas são diferentes na progressão na vida, porque o estoque de karma plantado na vida passada foi diferente para cada uma delas. O desfruto, a descarga é diferente por causa disso, porque diferentes cargas ocorreram para elas, para elas.
Very few of them can remain looking identical as they grow older and older and older, then you can see that they now start looking a little different,
Ele diz que muito pouco número de gêmeos que permanecem nessa igualdade, né? Eles, no passar do tempo, eles são diferentes.
Yeah, because the physical body is at the mercy of what goes inside,
O corpo físico depende do que é colocado, alimentado, depende do que o alimenta.
And who you move around with, where you are living, some place.
Onde você mora, com quem você lidar.
If you're in one sister is in the world where certain kinds of foods are not available, all of these things have an effect,
E às vezes uma irmã mora num lugar onde certo tipo de nutrição não existe, tudo isso dá efeitos diferentes.
Everybody understand this painting business?
O Shuddha pergunta, todos estão ok na compreensão desse desenho? Ou tem alguma questão? Vocês têm algum comentário?
Yeah.
Shuddha, Jsca, I have a doubt, please.
Yes, Ana Maria.
Antônio, eu fico pensando em pessoas que moram em culturas tão diferentes, né? Por exemplo, a Índia, os Estados Unidos, o Brasil, que tem uma concepção de relacionamento tão diferente, né? E a ciência do Akram, ele atinge ambas culturas, mesmo elas sendo diferentes. Mas estar em culturas tão diferentes é Vyavastiti?
Você está dizendo que acontece às pessoas nessas diferentes culturas? Se
Não,
é
não.
Vyavastiti?
Não.
Qual é?
A cultura da Índia é muito diferente da cultura dos Estados Unidos, né? Em questão de relacionamentos, né?
Eu vou introduzir para a Shuddha.
Sim.
Então, ela diz que the cultures are different, say she mentioned USA, Brazil, and India, and Akram Vignan,
mas a ciência do Akram, ela atinge ambas.
The Akram science touches all these cultures. And qual é o restante da sua questão?
Estar, né, ter nascido na Índia ou ter nascido nos Estados Unidos é Vyavastite? Com
Nascer,
culturas diferentes, assim?
se você nasceu em Índia, if you're born in India or born in US or born in Brazil, it's product of Vyavastit.
Yeah, no, yeah. It's the effect. You see, this is
efeito.
scientific circumstantial evidences brings about the exact picture, physical picture, a visible picture, visible physical picture of a human being, whether he's in USA or in India or in Brazil. The point is that it has got nothing. It's really, that is how the painting was. That is how the painting.
Esse foi como o desenho foi.
Yeah. That's how it was painted.
Ele diz que tem a ver com Vyavastit.
You know, like if say this is hypothetical now, but say you Ana Maria was
coisa hipotética, né? Tá fazendo uma hipótese.
Ana Maria was moving around with many spiritual human beings, spiritually elevated human beings in India in the past life, you see.
Ana Maria estava envolvida com pessoas espirituais em Índia e na vida passada.
So she had developed significantly in the past life.
Se desenvolveu significantemente na vida passada.
But then, in the past life, she wanted to be, she had also painted something that she doesn't like all this other stuff that's going on in India, and would like to go to a quiet country, where there is 5,000 miles of beaches, water.
Ela também não estava tão assim satisfeita com tudo que aconteceu na Índia. Ela queria um lugar onde teria água com praias.
Then
this was constructed in the past life.
Construct, and then it happens here. But you see, inside,
na vida.
Even though you are a Brazilian lady, your upadan, your spiritual maturity and receptivity is that of an Indian, you see. So inside, it's more like Indian, and that is the case with every Mahatma, really. They accept it. They understand this thing from deep inside, you see.
E ele diz que é o ponto que ele diz, esse upadana, né? Essa maturidade espiritual que reside, ele diz não só em Ana Maria, mas em todos os Mahatmas, que this was the link, right?
It's a kind of a link, you see.
É uma união.
It's
established in past life, for sure.
Right. This is
Foi estabelecida em vida passada.
This is a link. I am 100% Indian by birth. Both my parents are from India. They were from India.
O Shuddha é 100%.
But I was born in Kenya. In Kenya, yes.
Ele nasceu em Kenya, Shuddha.
Grew up in Kenya, and
cresceu em Kenya.
So that is how it was. I really, in terms of the physical part, I'm not much identified with India, but this spiritual stuff is from the past, you see.
Ele diz que fisicamente ele não está em coerência com a Índia, mas essa parte espiritual está conectada com o passado, com a vida passada.
This fundamental understanding that we as human beings have to get it right, life after life, until we get it right, and it's a process. Finally you come to understand, and then to know what is happening
É.
Not only to you, but everyone in this world, you see.
É processo que ocorre, Vishuddhatma, que você deve compreender, não só com você, mas todos que estão em volta de você, né?
You're right about the culture. The culture is, is depending on where you take the birth. You see, if you're in Saudi Arabia, you will be part of that culture. If you're in, Sweden, you will be in part of that culture. You see.
Se você nasceu na Arábia Saudita, Suíça, você se torna parte daquela cultura.
Culture, but Kashai is not part of culture. Kashai is, if that Kashai carries over.
Universal.
Yes, it's a carryover from past life. Kashai is the one that really kind of drives you again in this life, you see.
O Cachaça não é parte da cultura, né? O Cachaça é como se fosse a setinha dirigindo você na vida.
It's a Kashai that makes you unhappy, even
que faz você, o Cachaça que te faz infeliz.
Even in a country where everything is really taken care of for you, there is no
Mesmo
war.
num país que está tudo certinho para você, não há nenhuma guerra, não há inimizade.
Yeah, so you understand now this painting part. Anybody else? You see, understand, my dear Ana Maria?
Você entendeu, Ana Maria? Esse desenho?
Do you understand Amelia? You understand Amelia?
Amelia.
You understand this painting?
Você entendeu esse desenho?
This painting is actually painting is actually our connection with the past life, you see.
Esse desenho é nossa conexão com a vida passada.
I know, 6 of you are sitting having a wonderful meal prepared by the lady of the home, and while you're chewing your food, one of them gets a stone, kind of a thick stone, which creates a chip in your tooth because you are enthusiastically just enjoying the food. That's an exact account. That's an exact account, you see.
Então, o Shuddha está dizendo, 6 de vocês fizeram uma refeição e foi a pessoa que fez essa maravilhosa comida e, de repente, uma pedrinha bateu no dente e esse dente deu uma boa mordida na pedra e tirou um pedacinho do dente. This is the conta exata. The lady cooking was just the nimit, right?
Well, she wasn't even a nimit. She is just a nimit. Yes.
A cozinheira foi simplesmente instrumento.
Yeah, but then if you have to go to the dentist and go through all of the procedures of repairing the chipped tooth,
Tem que ir no dentista para fazer o reparo do dente que foi.
And if you have to pay the bill, you keep on blaming her. She didn't clean. She didn't clean up the food properly. She should have seen, now,
Você vai reclamar dessa pobre cozinheira que ela...
everybody else enjoyed the food and everybody complimented her, but
Todo mundo gostou da comida e fez complementos, disse que ótima comida, mas a sua conta veio dessa maneira.
And you yourself were enjoying it, and you were enjoying it so much that you weren't even chewing the food properly, and it happened to you.
E você gostou muito tanto da comida que você nem não estava mastigando a comida propriamente como devia, né?
So it is such an exact account in this world, my friends, of painting and the result.
Shuddha diz que essa conta exata, é uma conta exata para você nessa vida.
And and in this life now, you see, we become aware of what this guy here. I become aware of how Shuddha sees a thing, or a woman, or a man, and in the same with you, we rising in the vision of the enlightened one, you see.
Você fica ciente, né, da maneira que você vê uma mulher, homem, e você vai levanta, você vai num plano mais superior do que esse desenho.
And
the painting may come.
We are aware of the result of the painting. The result of the painting is.
Nós estamos cientes do resultado desse.
You see, the vision will not stop. The vision will happen. If it is sexual, and you're married, the vision doesn't go away just because the padre or the priest has married you.
Yeah. Essa visão, o Shuddha diz, essa visão não acaba, né? E se é sexual e você está certo, mesmo que você sendo casado, o fato que o padre casou você com sua mulher não vai te dar nenhuma garantia que essa visão vai surgir e não acaba.
You're no longer guilty. You're no longer a prisoner because you're up here, you're free, you're able to see what's happening inside. Shuddha, Burna, Tony, Balbinot, you can see it, and
E você está aqui em cima e você está vendo o que está acontecendo com Tony.
You understand, Marcia, my dear? You understand? Yeah, totally. And that is called satsang. This is exactly happening.
Então, isso é chamado satsang, né? Essa compreensão que acontece aqui nesse espaço.
So now the questioner, shall I proceed now on the next? It's the same heading going on.
Mesmo cabeçalho, vamos adiante, então.
So then the questioner says, therefore the real thing is the Jagruti, is it not? Whatever results are happening inside, if the awareness is there, then I become free from my responsibility, do I not?
Então, a pintura real é o Jagruti, não? O que acontece, eu me torno responsável do que está acontecendo, não?
So all the results, effects, you see, effect in the mind, effect in the body, effect in words, you see, all of these effects that are happening inside, if the Jagruti, the awareness prevails, then I'm free. Then I am. Then the potey, the self, then the I becomes free from responsibility, right? Free from. I'm just typing the exact question. Responsibility to is asking Dada now that it is the main thing is Jagruti, right? And you said right, because see, effects, results, these are all results. Whatever is happening to any one of us right now in this satsang, it's a result, it's an effect. You and I are supposed to see it as a result, as an effect, right?
Nós temos que ver isso como resultado do efeito, né? E o Shuddha falou que os resultados, os efeitos, esses efeitos são aonde ele aparece, no nosso corpo, na nossa mente, são os efeitos são internos, né? Mas se o seu Jagruti prevalece quando esses efeitos surgem, o eu, né, está livre da responsabilidade desse pensamento que você tem. O Jagruti limpou, ele te colocou num lado que você não vai dar continuidade a esse desenho.
No. All right. So Dadashri says, yes, it is one becomes free from responsibility just simply by knowing, by simply seeing and knowing these effects that are arising from morning till evening within, they're not going to come out, and even if they come out, you're here. You see, some of them may be very forceful, you don't want to look, and yet you have, this guy, the man in you will look, or the woman in you will look, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is the important thing. It's not wrong. Why say it's wrong? It's not wrong. Your responsibility lies in the fact that it is to believe that this is happening to me. Boy, I am attracted. She's lovely. She's lovely. She's responding, and therefore I am attracted. It's not. You are not attracted. This one with the subatomic particles is attracted.
E quando você perde esse Jagruti em essência, e você realmente entra nesse que está acontecendo comigo, aí esse desenho se torna real. Aí você deu vazão a esse fluxo de partículas subatômicas.
And so the questioner says, then those results that arise afterwards, they are totally impotent, right? Impotent means they do not have much value, to have no potency in them. And is it because the potey, the self, the progressing I is not giving it any energy? The progressing I is in the elevator going higher, is saying this, So if it's not giving it energy from here below by saying, oh, I love it. I like what, she's looking at me. See, I'm handsome, or, she's again looking at me. All of the, if you don't give any such energies, if you don't support it, then it becomes impotent, right? It loses its potency.
Então, o Shuddha falou que esse potey, né, o ser em progresso, ele está nesse elevador, né, subindo, certo? Então, e quando ele está subindo, o que ele faz nesse estado? Ele não deu importância, não deu suporte a essa parte dele que diz, isso está acontecendo comigo. Então, eu amo, ela é muito atraente, eu tenho que agir, tenho que fazer isso. E, então, isso realmente você não dá suporte, né? E isso é devido a esse potey que recebeu ascender nesse elevador sem prestar atenção e sem dar valor ao que está abaixo, né?
Yeah. And so Dada's answer is very interesting. Dadashri says it's gone. Gone. Dadashri says it's got nothing to do with us.
Foi embora, não tem nada a ver conosco.
We are in this elevator, Akram lift going higher.
Então nós estamos nesse elevador do Dada, no Akram, no elevador do Akram, indo para cima.
Nothing to do with you. It's like the analogy I like to give is, those long walks that you have to take at the airport to take a flight, and the plane is so far away you have to walk, but then there are these conveyor belts, so you stand on it and it just takes you, so you don't have to walk, you see. And then there are chairs on both sides where the passengers are sitting, and and you see an attractive lady, and she's looking at you, and then again you look back and she's still looking at you now. But you note this, you are aware of this, but then you go and you take your flight, she will take her flight. What's the big deal? You know, you don't have to even think about it. It's over. You see?
Então, o Shuddha diz, né, exemplo que ele diz, né, essa decisão firme que você vai nesse elevador, subindo nesse elevador com eu em progresso, e numa situação, por exemplo, no aeroporto, que você tem que tomar essas caminhadas grandes para ir de uma estação a outra para pegar seu avião na gate, etc. Então, em vez de andar, você tem essas casas rolantes, mas aí numa dessas andanças, né, passa uma mulher bonita, então você olha para ela, ela olha para você, você olha para ela, ela olha para você, mas cada um segue seu caminho e ela seguiu para onde ela teve que seguir, você foi, pronto, dissolveu.
Yeah, Dadashri says you don't need to think about it anymore. It's gone,
Você não
gone,
precisa.
and it's gone, gone, and it's got, you know, it will be, all of that material will be taken away by those who need it. In other words, look, the soul, the beautiful Amapura, is leaving this world as we know it, you know. It's
A alma pura está conduzindo esse mundo como nós sabemos. I have a question, Shuddha. What happens in this example in the airport, that a woman looks at you and you look at her, this is also built in past life, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely past life.
Eu perguntei ao Shuddha se essa conexão entre essa mulher e esse homem que se trocaram esses olhares, se tem relação à vida passada. E assim, ele disse que sim.
And then you look at her again, well, and then she is still looking at you, you know, and then different things arise in you, and that's all the painting, you see.
Essa mulher continua a olhar para você e as coisas começam a surgir para você. Isso é tudo conectado com essa pintura que você fez.
Yeah. If you see, and you know, you see this, you know, life, you see all of this heavy connections, very heavy connections, and very light connections like this, you see, of, you know, and so to be absolutely disconnected, Dada says, see the Lord within her, see the pure one within her, you know. See the pure one within her.
Então você vê conexões bastante fortes, conexões que não são tão fortes, frágeis, né? Então, para você estar desconectado, você vê a alma pura nessa pessoa.
And Dada has talked a lot about
O Dada fala muito sobre isso.
Yeah. So then the questioner is still asking, Dada, but what will happen to this and how it will affect the other person and all of these things? What about that? Dada says, no, you don't need any of that. What is your necessity? What do you need? You see, what have you got to do with that? That is, what have you got to do with that which is happening inside Marcia or Michelle? What is your connection with it? You know?
O Shuddha está dizendo, né, que o Dada disse para o interlocutor, o que você tem a ver com essa pessoa? Você não tem nada a ver com essa pessoa. Então, o Shuddha traz aqui, né, o que nós temos neste momento, exato momento que a gente pensa. O que a gente tem a ver com a conexão que está acontecendo internamente com os Mahatmas, né?
You know, the only time there is a connection is when you find fault with her, you know, you extract a fault with her. You know, she should not be dressing up like that, showing her body parts, you know, to the whole world, and that's why she is, you know, now you're in trouble. You know, you're blaming her.
Quando você encontra algum problema no outro, você está envolvido. Você se envolveu quando você encontra uma falha, né? Como ele disse, né? Ela não deve se portar ou se vestir dessa maneira ou da outra maneira.
Why is she walking like that, swinging her hips? I mean, geez, you're finding faults with her. The fault is in your vision. But you're blaming her for it, you see.
Esses erros estão na sua visão, mas você está colocando isso na outra pessoa.
Yeah, see, you will be in trouble if you find fault with the other person.
Você vai estar em problema, você tendo essa ação de encontrar erros.
Erros,
the opposite are also true, right? Should see the beauty or something that.
Yeah, you can see the beauty of nature. When you see a lovely flower, in the garden, you appreciate it. When you you appreciate it. For example, when I see Michelle here, I am always thrown back to the Louvre in Paris, where a lot of people are looking at Mona Lisa. So this is and that's how it is. I mean, I say, oh, there she goes. There's a Mona Lisa. Oh, yes, Michelle, what do you want to say? And we can't hear you. You're okay. Jai Satchidana Shuddhatma Bhagwan.
Eu não entendi. Primeiro, você está no aeroporto, você viu uma moça, aí deu uma ligação, você descobriu que você tem alguma relação de vidas passadas com essa pessoa, e aí, o que é que nós não temos nada a ver com isso? É que demorou um pouquinho para você me chamar e agora perdeu um pouco.
Yeah, she's asking, at the situation in the airport, that you look at this woman and there's mutual looking and between these two people, and this is connected with past life, and then você quer saber mais o que está.
Eu quero saber por que ele disse, mas isso não tem nada a ver com a gente. Ele usou como um erro, me parece, não sei.
No, she's not. I think she understood this as seeing the fault. Shuddha.
See, fault is fault is when you blame the other person for something that we say. Some other energy is doing it, and you are blaming her as the doer, or him as the doer.
Alguma outra energia você culpa essa pessoa por algum ato que você acha que está errado. Por exemplo, ele falou essa mulher, o andar desta mulher desta maneira, ou da maneira que ela caminha, alguma coisa, e você vê aquilo uma falha. Aí que
você perguntou se isso era
que estava relacionado à vida passada.
A uma vida passada, exato. E
ele
entrou
disse
a palavra erro, só isso que eu queria entender.
She's going back to the question I asked Shuddha, that I asked if it was this mutual exchange of looks is related to past life, but I don't know if you want to expand there a little bit, but that has nothing to do with the error or fault, seeing fault. I see. Isso não tem nada a ver com erro, Michelle, de você ter essa atração entre vida passada, because something you planted in the past life with relation to that person, and
yes, and it's
discharging.
It is only less than a minute, 30 seconds. As you're going on the conveyor belt.
30 segundos.
30 seconds, all right? So, and then once you're sitting inside the plane, you don't even, it's gone, all right?
E quando você está dentro do avião, ela foi para o lado dela e foi embora.
And if you try to, and next day, if you try to find out what she looked like, you won't be able to. You see, in
E
other
no dia
words,
seguinte, se você quer lembrar a fisionomia dessa pessoa, você foi
yeah.
embora.
And so it means that is how it was painted. It was very light.
Isso foi da maneira que foi desenhado, muito leve.
It was just a light stroke in the mind only. Now, you say the painting happens in so many ways. It happens through the mind, it happens through the mind and the body, or it happens through the mind, body, and speech.
Ele diz que essa pintura pode acontecer através da mente, pode acontecer através do corpo e também pode acontecer através da fala.
Yeah. So if it was painted in such a way, I'm just giving an example.
Ele vai dar exemplo agora.
If it's painted in such a way that it was involved all three.
Se os três foram envolvidos, mente, fala e corpo.
And then this person who is going like this on the conveyor belt, after he notices that, oh, she's also still looking at him, he will get out and he'll look at his watch. Oh, I've got half an hour. He will turn around and come back and start a conversation, you see. And the body has now turned and is now moving in her direction, and she also, and they will say, and he might even say, okay, shall we have a drink together? I'm now, so this is how it was painted.
E ele está dizendo que quando os três componentes ocorrem, mente, fala e corpo, por exemplo, eles estão no certo, os dois se encontram, olhar, aí se houver envolvimento da mente e da fala e do corpo também, ele para, ele olha no relógio, ele vê que ainda tem tempo, então ele vai e conecta com essa pessoa e diz, ainda vai e convida ela para tomar um drink.
And you don't know what was painted.
E você, assim que foi, desculpe, I'm sorry, Shuddha, essa foi a maneira que foi desenhado, Michel, para acontecer isso. Foi desenhado assim.
Yeah, you do not know what was painted until it starts happening. You see?
A gente não sabe qual é o desabrochar dessa pintura até que isso acontece.
But the fault now for each one of us, you, I, all of us, is to believe that this is happening to me.
O erro, o Shuddha diz que você crê, se você tem a crença que isso está acontecendo com você, este que é o erro.
That this is happening to Michele or to Caio or to Ana Maria. This is all happening.
Qual é o erro?
Yeah, it is discharge ego.
Discharge. File one.
File ones. A dying ego. It is dying ego, discharging ego.
É uma descarga, Michele. É uma descarga.
Porque se as pessoas reencarnam em blocos, estão sempre juntas, a gente acaba encontrando muita gente sempre de outras vidas, tanto lembranças boas quanto ruins. Então, cadê o erro?
They are born again in groups.
A gente não reencarna em grupos, porque se a gente não reencarnar em grupos, a gente nunca vai resolver as nossas pendências.
Eu vou perguntar ao Shuddha. She's asking if we can reincarnate in groups, Shuddha.
No, everybody.
Ele diz que não, Michel.
No, it is your karma effect is such that you take birth with people that you have in general moved around with in a previous life, you see. The same group kind of, it's like a group staying together, but it's not, there is not much connection. It is just, because it's just like, we Mahatmas, like we like each other, so then, Mahatmas will be together in the next life, you see.
Ele diz, por exemplo, se você é um grupo mais ou menos que você tem alguma afeição, certo? Por exemplo, um grupo de Mahatmas, talvez a próxima vida você reencarna com um grupo que você é o que o Shuddha falou.
Ok, mas, por exemplo, uma mãe, um pai, que você
Pai.
tem problemas, você precisa revê-los caso você não tenha resolvido, ou não? Não é com eles que eu tenho que resolver?
Yeah, she's saying that if she has a problem with the father or with the mother, if
Por exemplo,
this incarnation, if she has to solve this problem, she has to solve the problem with this father and with this mother. She's saying in the next reincarnation.
No, no. For us, it's changed now. See?
Para nós mudou, Michelle. Ele diz.
Yeah, you are aware of the fundamental reason for the problem is not the father or the mother, it is inside Michelle.
Você tem noção, você entendeu, né, Michelle, que você tem consciência de que o problema, qualquer coisa que sofreu não está fora de você, está
The father,
arquivo 1.
The father and the mother are flawless. No,
O teu pai e a sua mãe são impecáveis. Não tem erros.
Whatever the account was between you and them, it will all finish here only. You see?
Se houve alguma conta, essa conta termina aqui.
Então, eu preciso resolver meus arquivos com equanimidade, mas, a partir do momento que eu recebi o Gnan, eu não preciso mais, então.
She needs to clear her files with equanimity, and after she received the Gnan, she's done.
Oh yeah, well, if the definition of a file is that it takes away your bliss. You see?
O arquivo, a definição de arquivo, Michel, ele tira a sua bem-aventura.
In other words, the definition is, it's not something that, the ultimate definition of a file is your relationship with that file is due to kashaya of either rag, or dvesh, or a mixture of both, you see.
Então, a definição de arquivo é esse arquivo é ou baseado num apego ou numa aversão ou na mistura dos dois.
And
or any file should.
Yeah, any file, it comes to you and either you take pleasure from that file or it gives you a little pain, but it is happening to file one. It is not happening to you.
Yeah. Então, basicamente, você vem esse arquivo para você. Ou esse arquivo te dá prazer, você tem apego, ou esse arquivo não é bom, você puxa ele para fora.
And in this new awareness, you are free already. So eu sou amapura. This thing here, is it bothering? Is it bothering Michelle? Then it's a file. In other words, you feel disturbed, anything like that, but you see it, and it's inside you only. It's got nothing to do with mama or papa or anybody else. It's just inside you.
Ele está dizendo que basicamente ele diz que você, depois do Gnaveti, você é uma pura, e você, o que está acontecendo com Michel com relação ao pai, à mãe, não é de Michel, é do arquivo 1. E você pode resolver isso com equanimidade, que você, como Mahatma até agora, você.
If it keeps coming
acho que ficou claro, né, Michel?
If it keeps happening a lot, then you tell Michelle, they're pure souls. This is your issues. Just connect with the pure soul in them, and do pratikraman,
Se isso começar a voltar para você vê-los fazer o praticama e de alma pura, ver a alma pura neles também, certo?
Certo, então eu não preciso mais estar do lado, reencarnar do lado das pessoas que eu tenho karmas, eu não preciso mais reencarnar do lado e sofrer e resolver com equanimidade, eu resolvo com praticamente.
Yeah, she's asking if she doesn't, this reincarnation she doesn't depend to clear files with people that already passed, or she doesn't need, she just uses this, what you said, right?
They're already gone. They, you know, but they are gone. They are not in your world anymore. But you know, your connection with them is, if it keeps on bringing back those old memories that are painful, then you just connect again and say, "Oh, Amapura, wherever you are, you know, please forgive me." You know, and that's it. Just please forgive me. That's all.
Se você tem a lembrança disso, Michel, você simplesmente faz essa, veja uma pura, faça prece, peça a luz e faça o praticamente, se você tem ainda alguma crítica.
And may you meet a Gnani, may you come to know the bliss of the self, like I have, you know.
Se você tem a intenção que eles encontram Gnani, que eles encontram bem-aventurados através disso.
You know, your new knowledge is column number 8, you know, the column number 8, you know, it's just, and your new knowledge is, you don't want to hurt anybody. What happened is the painting, you know. In the painting, in everybody's painting is not just smooth and easy, you know. And so when it openly hurts, or it causes you to remember the painful moments, then be aware that this was part of the painting, and it's got nothing to do with you, my dear. You know, you are Amapura, you know.
Ele falou que seu conhecimento está na coluna número 8, isso que ocorre com você, que são vestígios ainda desse desenho criado. Quando isso acontece, não é você se separa porque você tem o Jagruti, e você, se há alguma crítica, alguma falha do seu lado, que você faça o praticamente para limpar.
If you, right now, Michele is not extracting any faults of those that have already departed from this world. You're not saying they were like this, they did this to me. You know, you're not extracting, you're not digging. You are in your blissful, blessed state. Your vision is associated with blessing them also. May you too become free, you see. So you're in a blessing mode. You're not in extracting the fault of the other person.
Você está no modo de bem-aventurança, você não está extraindo ou indo para o fundo e ver falhas que você cometeu com relação a essas pessoas que partiram já.
Okay, my dear. It's
okay,
just,
okay, Michel.
Really, it's just, you're exactly lifted up, exactly disconnected. Dadashri says, if you do not extract the fault of anyone, then there is no give and take with that human being. The extracting the fault of the other person is the second step. First, you see the fault of the other person, then you extract it. You pick it up and say, see, you did this. You are like this. You were like this. You see, that is called extraction of the fault. It's like picking up the garbage of the other person and throwing it on your own self, you see.
Então, ele diz que essa ação, né, de ver, você vê a falta e você pega essa falta, e você, não só isso, além de ver, você extrai o erro, né? É como se você estivesse realmente pegando o lixo da pessoa, né? Que não é uma coisa adequada, né?
This is very...
It's a design, é desenho, né?
Yeah. You know, like you can just see the fault, you know, like we all see faults. So somebody misbehaves, somebody does something to you or somebody else, you can see the fault. But to extract the fault means now, now you have slipped from your Amapura, and now you are kind of, you are getting involved in something that the other person is not the doer. This is also part of the program of the painting, you see. And to extract the fault means now you're blaming him as he is doing it, she is doing it, you see. And that...
Shuddha diz que nada errado em você ver o erro, desde que você não se envolva, né, com essa visão, e aí você observa o erro, e when you see the fault, and you become,
Yeah, you slip from your Amapura position.
você saiu da alma pura.
And to see the other, other as a door. You say fazedor, you
E
know.
você tá vendo, você vê o outro como fazedor.
You see, you know, it was the painting, my dear, that was the reason why, you know, the account of parents and Michelle was, you know, like that. But they, just like you, were part of the mariachi program, you know.
Então, isso não é, em essência, isso não pertence a você. Isso é parte de programa.
Right? Mariachis.
Mariachis são os the singing musicians and folklore.
Yeah, but I was thinking of more of, I'm sorry, I mean, this Spanish use, I'm thinking of this puppet shows.
Oh, marionettes.
Okay, not mariachi.
Marionettes.
Marionette, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Marionette, eu pensei que ele estava referindo aos cantantes mexicanos. Não,
I'm sorry, yeah.
No, marionettes são os puppets.
Yeah, right, puppets.
Puppeteers, puppets.
We're all puppets in a master plan of master plan from past life, you know.
Yeah, nós somos programados, marionetes programados da vida passada.
The program was originated in ignorance, and now in the awakened state of through the grace of our Lord Dadashri, you know, we're free now, you know.
Agora, com a graça de Gnani Purush Dadashri, nós estamos livres agora.
All right, yeah, and understand, my dear, huh? So there is a reason to smile, huh?
Yeah, tem uma razão para sorrir agora, né, Michelle?
Yeah, it's over, and they're long gone. They're in another world with other bodies, you know.
Eles estão em outros mundos.
Okay, so let us take a little break. This chapter is not over yet. I have to give you the last few translations, so we'll come back in another 5 minutes, all right?
Ele vai ter pequeno intervalo de 5 minutos, tá?
All right, okay, good. Thank you, Ana Maria and Tony. Yeah, yeah. So we're coming to,
Okay, sure. Okay, we're back. Nós estamos de volta.
so then the questioner says, but then what will happen to the other person, and what will happen to this inside stuff as well as the other person? All of that, Dada? So Dada, she says, no, we don't need, there is no necessity of that. What is that? What is necessary for us? What is the connection between you, us, and him?
E o Dada diz, né, o que acontece com essa parte interior minha e o outro. Ele diz também qual é esta conexão.
So Dada, so and the other she says, and that's the questioner.
I'm sorry, Shuddha. Michelle has a question. She has the raised hand after what you said. After you.
Does she have? No. Okay. No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And so the questioner says.
Dada, no.
So
what is the connection, right? The connection.
Yeah. No, the other is, then the questioner says, but if that other person paints, so then how should this one improve that? In other words, you see, this is all silent signals going on between two human beings, you see. This painting business, you know?
Esse desenho, essa pintura são sinais silenciosos que existem entre seres humanos.
Sometimes it goes on for a very long time, you know. I mean, men and women who live around each other, you know, there's all kinds of silent signals going on between two human beings. That's called painting.
São esses sinais silenciosos que existem entre seres humanos, numa vizinhança.
So then, so the questioner says, if I want to clear that, then I should really clear it from inside me, right?
Se eu tenho que limpar isso, eu tenho que limpar internamente, dentro de mim, não?
And that's a critical question is asked. If I want to clear it, I should clear it from inside me, right? I mean, that other person has got nothing to do with it, right? So the other says yes.
Eu tenho que limpar do meu interior e a outra pessoa não tem nada a ver com isso, não é, Dada? Dada disse assim.
And so the other says yes. One needs to clear his own painting, his own only. You don't need to look at what's going on in the other person or inside that other person, or what is he doing or what is she doing. Everyone needs to take care of themselves only. Amapura, file 1, you see. So clear your own file only, you know.
Limpe seu próprio arquivo. Você mesmo deve limpar a sua parte interna, esse arquivo seu, e não se preocupe com o que está fora no outro.
You cannot tell her, oh, you're not doing anything, you're like this, you see. You don't need to do all of that. You might even tell generally the mother tells the daughter, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, you're not paying attention in the kitchen, etc. None of that. We are just spoiling her by saying these kind of things,
E por exemplo, a mãe, na situação da mãe dizendo para a filha, dizendo, você não deve fazer isso, não deve fazer aquilo, e realmente não é uma boa coisa também. Isso não é uma coisa positiva fazer.
So, Dadashri says, would you ever leave your home, get out of your home without really the proper protection? If it's going to, would you go out on a hot summer day without any footwear? You see?
Ele diz, você sai de casa num dia quente, sem nenhuma proteção, sem nenhum sapato, etc.
If good footwear are not available, decent, you'll say, oh, any old slipper will do, come, because, but so this in every other moment, you're always taking care of protecting yourself. You see? And this is the work that is remaining. Protect this beautiful Ama Pura that you have entered. Protecting it means, do not get, extricate yourself from these things that are very sweet, you see, are very tempting, or or are bothering you. Both are not yours, you see.
Não, então, proteja sempre a alma pura. Não se envolva nessas coisas que são doces a você ou que incomodam você.
Take the necessary, in other words. So then the question says, that means slipping out of awareness is the main weakness, Dada, is the main fault. The awareness, Evasama Pura, is associated with this dual vision. This is all relative. And this other person in front of me is a pure soul. That is where the awareness, if you slip from there, then that other person becomes a woman or a man, you see. So can we see it this way? Can we see it this way, Dada? That's the main problem. That is the main problem now. Correct, Dada?
Sair da consciência é o erro principal. Eu sou uma pura. Eu sou uma pura associada com essa visão. What did you say? The second thing, the second phrase.
Slipping from the Jagruti means
saindo do Jagruti.
The Jagruti, the awareness.
Da consciência.
Two results. These are all effects. Both are effects. Effects of from past life, and effect of the self. The effect of the self is that in seeing the self in the other human being, your bliss increases, you see.
So if you get out of the Jagruti, there are two results, right?
Yeah, if
the effect, there are effects. One is effect of past life, right?
No. Jagruti means this is relative and this is real, you see.
Okay. Jagruti is vendo a diferença entre real e o relativo. Okay, Shuddha.
Yeah, seen with the dual view, you see. Up until
a visão dualista, né? Visão dual, né? Vendo o real e vendo o relativo.
Yes, you see. And then there is no further involvement, because that is absolutely liberating. Evasama Pura, this is relative. This is relative. This relative means it belongs to Michele, to Amelia, to Shuddha, etc.
Então, você tendo essa visão dual, você fez a separação. Esse relativo significa de Tony, de Michelle, de Ana Maria. E do real, alma pura.
So the question is, that is called Jagruti, right? That it separates the two results.
Yeah.
And the other Sri says, it's no longer a question of Jagruti, calling it Jagruti, you see. Such awareness is necessary, and it automatically splits it up. The awareness of the Amapura that is applied automatically splits it up, automatically separates it.
Então, a consciência de que sou alma pura automaticamente separa. E essa questão não é uma questão de Jagruti, né? O que ele falou ultimamente, que a consciência que você é alma pura automaticamente separa, faz a separação.
Yeah, and this is, there is nothing else that needs to be done. It automatically separates, and this is where fundamentally the first two agnas are so just natural,
Não há nada a fazer, e o Shuddha diz que essas duas agnas são naturais.
Yeah. I hope everybody gets this. You know, we are at the end of this particular heading today, and we are on top of page 29, Gujarati. Okay.
Então a gente está na parte de cima da página 29 em Gujarati. O Shuddha, ele espera que todos conseguiram absorver isso direitinho, certo? Yep.
Yeah. You know, thank you. So,
Yeah.
This is a slow train.
Yeah. Ele está dizendo que o trem é vagaroso, paradouro.
But Dada is working within all of us with this awareness. You see
Mas
that?
o Dada está trabalhando em todos nós com essa consciência.
And with every sentence we are with Dada.
Todas as sentenças, com cada sentença de Dada.
There's one thing I needed to share, which I completely forgot, but you know, it'll take two minutes, and it is that
ele esqueceu de algo que Shuddha vai fazer.
and that is to share with you this magnificent work product of our dear Tony, and the link of it. You know, and that link which is here, and now let me, you know, and it is, I will share that link, but also, and, you know, and so let me just share the link first. And the link is here now. It's all ready, and it is now. I'll share the link.
Ele está colocando esse link aí, né, do Dadashri.
Yeah, and then you know that is this Dadashri February. Dadavani.
Dadavani de fevereiro.
Yeah, beautifully done. Now in Portuguese, and it's available to you in that link that I just posted. It's the same thing. Dadavani DV, Dadavani February 2023. P means Portuguese, and it's got this beautiful headings of to see the positive. You know, this is the second part of it. You know,
é o link para que vocês possam ver positivo, né?
in so many ways how you can see positive in everything, you know.
Tantas maneiras diferentes de você ver o positivo nas coisas.
And it is all based on up the sutras. So this is the advanced level.
Esse é o nível avançado e é baseado nos Apta Sutras.
Yeah, and you know, so it starts with, you know, like this, you know, and beautiful, easy. It has become, you know, this availability in your language. It makes it very, very easy. You see.
Então, fica mais fácil para você na sua língua.
You know, so Vishuddhatma Bhagwan. So, highest namaskars to all of you.
Saudações mais elevadas a todos vocês.
And may this energy of sharing with everyone continue for all of you. You know, you in your own way you're sharing. You know, the Gnani is coming to your country.
E o Gnani vai para
Tony,
o seu país.
pode colocar esse link do nosso grupo? Pode colocar o link?
Yeah, she's asking if we can put we can put the link in the group.
Yes, please. Yeah. Did you get the link? Let me see.
Você pegou?
Did you get the link? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Please. Yeah. Share it. Yeah. Share it. Let them all kind of get into it, and you know, among your own self, you can, you know, you have a little time, discuss it. You know, just you don't need me or anyone. You're all now mature Mahatmas. You know.
Vocês podem dividir esse Dadavani entre vocês, certo? Com a maturidade de vocês.
Yeah, read the pages and you know, and just, you know, I mean, you know, you were at a disadvantage because you're far away from the Gujarati that gets available much earlier, but you know, so we try to strive to give it to you as soon as it's available.
Eles diz que ele tenta dar Dadavani desde que sai, às vezes demora um pouquinho para que a tradução possa ser feita, mas vocês vão recebendo.
Highest namaskars, Vishuddhatma Bhagavan.
Saudações
Ishvana.
do amor puro de vocês.
Vishuddhatma,
Saudações.
Yeah,
Shuddha,
Uh-huh.
can I ask a question? Is Deepak Bhai come to Canada? I've heard he's coming, but I didn't hear anything else.
I think there is a part in the program, but take a
Do
look.
you,
I
do you
don't,
know when
and you
and
know,
to where? If it will be Montreal or Toronto, you know?
Toronto is always in your schedule, you know. So I don't
Yeah.
know the dates, the exact dates, but you know, I you know, you can get it from the Dada Bhagwan A-Connect app. You have the.
No, I checked it. There is no information there
All right.
about
Okay.
Canada. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
why.
Yeah, do you have my email?
I'm gonna. I have your WhatsApp thing.
Okay, so why don't you just remind me and I'll send you the links, okay?
Okay, just for
All
me to organize and try to
Yeah.
be there.
Okay, dear.
Thank you, Shuddha.
Okay, Vishuddhatma
Jai
Bhagavan. Jai
Sachidanand.
Sachidan. Jai Sachidan. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, but you
Boa
know,
noite, gente.
right
Boa
now the Aptaputras are in US, you know, and Piyush and Manan are here, you know, they're going all over the country, so it's nice. You know. Yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm going to close it now with highest namaskars and have a wonderful night.
Yeah.
Jai Sachidan.
Jesus.
Jai Sachidan.